This will take some time. I have to share some things out real quick. Then I have to do my whole thing to get it proper. And then we're gonna go into a very interesting lesson. So I will be going over all of the various teachings. So give me a few seconds so that I can do this proper. That'll be enough for now. Namah Shivaya. Om Shambho Namah Shivaya. Om Shambho Namah Shivaya. Om Shambho Namah Shivaya. Om Shambho Yodeva Yod Yodeva Yod Shambho Yodeva Yod Yodeva Yod. Thank you for joining me. There is something that I did want to discuss. Since we have so much discord upon the surface of the planet today, so much unrest within our hearts as well, I will go ahead and begin to go across the world with all the various teachings, some of them, and also some intricate parts. This will be long. Unfortunately, you will have to spend time to acquire knowledge, as I have had to spend time to acquire knowledge. There are certain things that are going on now, and I can understand why certain actions were taken within the past. So, let us begin so I can go ahead and show you the things that have been hidden. I'll be reading, well, they're not really hidden anymore. I'll be reading from the Upanishads, Bhagavad Gita, the Lost Teachings of Atlantis, the Children of Law 1, the Autobiography of a Yogi, the Dhammapada of Buddha, the Quran, of course, the Bible, and the Encyclopedia of Wicca and Witchcraft, as well as the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ. There are many more books that I could pull from, of course, but that's not necessary for what I'm going to say. It should help to get the point across and help with this disorder that we see. A lot of people talk about the various religions, belief systems, understandings. So I want to go to Matthew 6 first to start off, because this is more of a Western audience that will see it first. I'm sure the Eastern people will start to see it later on so that they can understand. I'm going to scroll down to Matthew 6:33. The first thing that one should do if you want to understand the Creator, your faith and everything, from all the faiths, it's extremely important that you come to see and understand a few things. Matthew 6:33, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Now, I go to Luke 17, and I'm going to read verse 20 and 21. And when he was demanded of the Pharisees when the kingdom of God should come, he answered them and said, the kingdom of God cometh not with observation. Neither shall they say, lo here or lo there. For behold, the kingdom of God is within you. Okay? So, right here, Jesus is telling you the kingdom of God is within you. Now, we're going to go to Acts 17. Inside of Acts 17, it is clarified. People are complaining about the churches being shut down. And I understand that in community and everything else like that. But when you're standing there inside of a church and you're being taught, they usually are throwing damnation at you and telling you that you are a sinner. It's all these things that are going on inside the world. They lay heavy burdens upon you. We can also go to, let me go here beforehand, just to make sure you understand it. Matthew 23:13. But woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye shut up the kingdom of heaven against men. For you neither go in yourselves, nor suffer ye that are entering to go in. Once again, you neither go in yourselves, nor suffer ye that are entering to go in. That means you have to go in, inside. Now we go to Acts 17. Then Paul stood in the midst, this is verse 22, of Mars Hill, and said, Ye men of Athens, I perceive that in all things ye are too superstitious. For as I passed by and beheld your devotions, I found an altar with the inscription, to the unknown God, whom therefore ye eagerly worship, him I declare unto you. God that made the world and all things therein, seeing that he is Lord of heaven and earth, dwelleth not in temples made with hands. Neither is he worshipped with men's hands as though he needed anything, seeing he giveth to all life and breath to all things, and hath made of one blood all nations of the earth for to dwell on all the faces of the earth, and have determined the times before appointed and the bounds of their habitation. Okay? So right here it is saying everyone is made of one blood. All nations of men are made of one blood. Which means, why is everyone fighting? I will go to Isaiah, the Old Testament. Isaiah 45. I am the Lord, and there is none else. There is no God besides me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. that they may know from the rising of the sun and from the west that there is none besides me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do all these things. Clarification. I, the Lord, do all these things. Who is this Lord? There's a lot of people that sit up here and proclaim him and everything. So we'll go to the Upanishads first. You see, we don't look at each other and see the fellow man that is right there beside us. And everyone will proclaim the Christ and all these things. Let me tell you of the Lord. The Isha Upanishad. The Lord is enshrined in the hearts of all. The Lord is a supreme reality. Rejoice in him through renunciation. Covet nothing. All belongs to the Lord. Thus working, may you live 100 years. Thus alone will you work in real freedom. Those who deny the self are born again, blind to the self, enveloped in darkness, utterly devoid of love for the Lord. The self is one, ever still. The self is swifter than thought, swifter than the senses. Though motionless, he outruns all pursuit. Without the self, never could life exist. The self seems to move, but is ever still. He seems far away, but is ever near. He is within all, and he transcends all. Those who see all creatures in themselves, and themselves in all creatures, know no fear. Those who see all creatures in themselves, those who see all creatures themselves, and themselves in all creatures, know no grief. How can the multiplicity of life delude the one who sees its unity? The self is everywhere, bright as a self, indivisible, untouched by sin, wise, eminent, and transcendent. He is it who holds the cosmos together. In the dark night live those for whom the world without alone is real. And night darker still for whom the world within alone is real. The first leads to a life of action, the second to a life of meditation. But those who combine action with meditation cross the sea of death through action and enter into immortality. Through a practice of meditation, so have we heard from the wise. In the dark night lives those for whom the Lord is transcendent only, and darker night still for whom he is eminent only. But those for whom he is transcendent and eminent cross the sea of death with the eminent and enter into immortality with the transcendent. So we have heard from the wise. The face of God is hidden by your orb of gold, O son. May you remove your orb so that I, who adore the true, may see the glory of truth. O nourishing sun, solitary traveler, controller, sources of life for all creatures, spread your light and subdue your dazzling splendor, so that I may see your blessed self. Even that very self am I. May my life merge in the immortal. When my body is reduced to ashes, O mind, meditate on the eternal Brahma. Remember the deeds of the past. Remember, O mind, remember. O God of fire, lead us by the good path to eternal joy. You know all our deeds. Deliver us from evil, who we bow and pray again and again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So you see, God of fire. And people call him a sun god. You can go watch Bill Donahue, and he talks about how Jesus was a sun god, or Yeshua. The letter J wasn't created until 1524. So before that, it was known as IOESUS. IOESUS inside Greek translates to 888, which references the sun. But it also references the city of the Ogdog, which the patron deity there is Thoth, the Atlantean, the priest king. Now, so you know, my zodiac is an Aries, and then I am Sagittarius and Libra. I am a self-sustained fireman, so I'm a pyromander. I'm reading now from the Aquarian Gospel. I saw the guardian spirits of the Piscean age. Ramasa is the cherubim. Vacabil is a seraphim. I saw the spirits of the Aquarian age, and Archer is the cherubim, and Sacamil is a seraphim. It's mentioned there. Now, what I want to talk about is inside of Matthew. Matthew 22. We'll start there. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. He did not say to love him, he said to love the Lord thy God, which I am showing you across all the different belief systems. Even within Wicca, at the very top, there's a being known as the impersonal God. It is both male and female. It is all things, as it creates the light and forms the darkness. This is the first great commandment, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. Now, if you love yourself, firstly, once you love yourself, your cup runneth over, and it spills out to where you're able to love other people. And you wouldn't go to them and want to fight them or think that they're wrong for what they believe. Instead, you would share your wisdom amongst each other, as you should. And the cultures would have discovered that as I'm adding them together right now, they all follow the same one, just speaking in various ways. Now, while the Pharisees were gathered together, Jesus asked them a question, saying, What think ye of Christ? Whose son is he? They say unto him, The son of David. He saith unto them, How then doth David in spirit call him Lord, saying, The Lord said unto my Lord, Sit thou on my right hand till I make thine enemies thy footstool. If David then called him Lord, how is he his son? And no man was able to answer him a word, neither durst any man from that day forth ask him any more questions. So Jesus just said, how can this guy be born and have the Lord? The Lord isn't in a lineage of man, because the Lord, once again, you have to go inside yourself, back to the one, all the way in. And when you get there, you will know, trust me. And that's the Christ. Now, from the Aquarian Gospel of Levi, it's explained further in detail. I will read it to you so you can understand. The Christ, before creation was, the Christ walked with the Father God and the Mother God in Akasha. The Christ is Son, the only Son begotten by the Almighty God, the God of force and God of omniscience, God of thoughts, and Christ is God, the God of love. So the Lord of love that's mentioned inside the Hindu text. Without the Christ there was no light. Throughout Christ all life was manifest, and so through him all things were done, and naught was done in forming worlds or peopling worlds without the Christ. Christ is the Logos of infinities, and through the Word alone are thought and force made manifest. The Son is called Christ because the Son, the love, the universal love, was set apart, ordained to be creator, Lord, preserver, and redeemer of all things, of everything that is or evermore will be. Through Christ, the protoplast, the earth, the plant, the beast, the man, the angel, and the cherubim took up their stations on their planes of life. Through Christ they are preserved, and if they fall, it is the Christ who lifts them up, and if they sell themselves to sin, the Christ redeems. Now Christ, the universal love, pervades all spaces of infinity, so there is no end to love. From the great heart of love, unnumbered spirits were sent forth to demonstrate the height, the depth, the width, the boundless of love. To every world and star and moon, a sun, a master spirit of this love, divine was sent, and all were full anointed with the oil of helpfulness, and each became a Christ. All glorious in his majesty is Christ, who spread the pure white robe of love over all the plains of earth. Through Christ the earth, its heavens, and its graves. In course of time, the protoplast, the earth, and the plant, the beast, the man sold out their birthrights unto sin, but Christ was present to redeem. Hidden in the holiest of place, in all infinities, is locked the scroll that bears a record of the purposes of God, the triune God, and they were read. And there we read, perfection is the ultimate of life. A seed is perfect in its embryonic life, but it is destined to unfold, to grow. In the soul of every plane, these seeds, which were the thoughts of God, were cast the seeds of protoplast, of earth, of plant, of beast, of man, of angel, and of cherubim. And they who sowed the seeds through Christ ordained that they should grow and should return at last, by effort of unnumbered years, to a great granary of thought, and each be a perfection of its kind. And of course, it goes on. And ever since man takes, I'm going to skip ahead. And ever since man took his place in the form of flesh, the Christ has been manifest in the flesh at first of every age. And we have just had the age change. We have switched from the Piscean age to the Aquarian age. So now it is to be proclaimed that everyone is to be their own priest. Everyone is to return back to the one in their own way, through their own diligent study. No man is to rule over another man. No one is better than anyone, because you are all unique, therefore no one is special. But you can amplify your own qualities and build your own character to make yourself to where you're able to be saved. Now, that's the Aquarian gospel. As you've seen, he was talking about it's all thought. Thoughts of God. Thoughts of the Creator. So now we will go to the autobiography of a yogi. And we will go to the resurrection of Sri Yakeshwar, which is chapter 43. And I'll read to you the event that happened to Yogananda after he had buried his master underneath the sands of Puri. There's a technique that's called Mahasamadhi inside of the yoga system. And Mahasamadhi allows you to separate your life force from your body and leave your body. And the technique for Mahasamadhi is actually given in the Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean. It's in there. He tells you when you feel like your purpose of life is done, separate yourself from your body. Sitting on my bed in the Bombay Hotel at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on June 19th, 1936, 1 week after the vision of Krishna, I was roused from my meditation by a beatific light. Before my open and astonished eyes, the whole room was transformed into a strange world. The sunlight transmuted into supernal splendor. Waves of rapture engulfed me as I beheld the flesh and blood form of Sri Yakeshwar. My son, Master spoke tenderly. On his face an angel wishing smile. For the first time in my life, I did not kneel at his feet in greeting, but instantly advanced to gather him hungrily in my arms. Moments of moments, the anguish of past months was toll. I counted weightless against the torrential bliss now descending. My master, beloved of my heart, why did you leave me? I was coherent in the excess of joy. Why did you let me go to Kumbh Mela? How bitterly have I blamed myself for leaving you. I did not want to interfere with your happy anticipation of seeing the pilgrimage spot where I first met Babaji. I left you only for a little while. Am I not with you again? But is it you, Master, the same Lion of God? Are you wearing a body like the one I buried beneath the cruel Puri sands? Yes, my child. I am the same. This is a flesh and blood body, though I see it as ethereal. To your sight, it is physical. From cosmic atoms, I have created an entirely new body, exactly like the cosmic dream physical body which you laid beneath the dream sands at Puri in your dream world. I am, in truth, resurrected, not on earth, resurrected, but not on earth, on an astral plane. Its inhabitants are better able than earthly humanity to meet my lofty standards. There you are, there you and your exalted loved ones shall someday come to be with me. Deathless Guru, tell me more. Master gave a quick, mirthful chuckle. Please, dear one, he said. You won't relax your hold a little? Only a little. I had embraced him with an octopus grip. I could detect the same faint, fragrant, natural odor that had been characteristic of his body before. The thrilling touch of his divine flesh still persists around the inner sides of my arms and palms whenever I recall those glorious hours. As prophets are sent on earth to help men work out their physical karma, so have I been directed by God to serve on the astral plane as a savior, Syriac Aswar explained. It is called Haryalankia, or illumined astral planet. There, I am aiding advanced beings to rid themselves of astral karma, thus attain a liberation from astral rebirths. The dwellers on Haryalankia are highly developed spiritually. All of them had acquired in their last earth incarnation the meditation given power of consciously leaving their physical bodies at death. No one can enter Haryalanka unless he has passed on earth by the state of Salvakapa Samadhi unto the higher state of Narbakapa Samadhi. Haryalanka inhabitants have already passed through the ordinary astral spheres. When nearly all beings from earth must go at death, there they destroyed many seeds of karma connected to their past actions in astral worlds. None but advanced devotees can perform such redemptive work effectively in the astral spheres. Then, in order to free their souls fully from traces of astral karma, these aspirants have drawn by a cosmic law to be reborn in a new astral bodies on Haryalanka, the astral sun or heaven, where I am present to help them. These are also nearly perfected beings on Haryalanka who have come from a superior causal world. Now, as you see, he called it a dream world, and a cosmic dream. Now we're about to go deep into your childhood. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Question: whose dream is it? Do you see and understand? It is a dream. All this that you see around you is a dream. Now, let us go into the scientific understanding of things. I will play you a sound clip from Isaac Asimov's 2016 conference. Go ahead and put your listening ears on real quick. And we're going to play this.
To be here, it really makes you think about these big questions. And the more I learned about later on as a physicist, the more struck I was that when you get deep down under the hood about how nature works, down to looking at all of you as just as a bunch of quarks and electrons.
And you too, it's not just us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Looking at you as a quark, no, you would come under this category as well.
I am a quark blob too, I confess. So, but if you look at how these quarks move around, the rules are entirely mathematical as far as we can tell, and that makes me wonder if I were a character in a computer game who started asking the same kind of big questions about my game world, I would also discover eventually that the rules seemed completely rigid and mathematical. I would just be discovering the computer program in which it was written. So that kind of begs the question, how can I be sure that this mathematical reality isn't actually some kind of game or simulation?
So you've analogized yourself to Super Mario in a this is who you are.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
So Jim, I just remember you started all this a few years ago, in my mind at least, just triggering the idea that in your research, you found things that forced you to consider the likelihood that somebody programmed us. Could you?
Well, first of all, I would disagree with you. I'm not sure that somebody programmed us, but that's what you and I had a conversation where I pointed out that in my research, I had found this very strange thing. Physicists, I like to say we all belong to a company called Equations Are Us, because that's how we make our living, is by solving equations. And so I was just going through solving equations, and I was then driven to things that Max knows about, these things called error correcting codes. Error correcting codes are what make browsers work. So why were they in the equations that I was studying about quarks and leptons and supersymmetry? And that's what brought me to this very stark realization that I could no longer say that people like Max were crazy.
Now, as you can see, inside the mathematical world, they're finding that quarks act like computer error correcting code browser stuff. Is this reality real? Or, as it was said in Autobiography of a Yogi, this is a dream world. The first Hermetic principle is all is mind. Thought or thoth is Christ, anointed one. That's what that word means. I will go to the Bhagavad Gita. I'm reading from chapter 10, The Sublime Presence of Divinity. The beloved Lord said, "Once again, indeed, O mighty armed, hear my supreme word, which I shall speak to you, who are so dearly loved with a desire for your well-being. Neither the multitude of celestial beings nor the exalted seers understand how I have come forth into being. For I am the beginning of divinities and exalted seers, every one of them. One who understands me as unborn, beginningless, and as the exalted supreme, Lord of the universe, that person among mortals is unbewildered and free from all misfortune. Discernment and knowledge, freedom from illusion, forbearance, truth, restraint, calmness, happiness, suffering come into being, and cessation of being, fear, and indeed fearlessness. Non-violence, sameness, contentment, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. And their various forms, these conditions of beings arise from me alone. The 7 exalted seers, 7 as in like chakras, the 4 previous times, and also Manus, having come into being from me, are generated from my mind. And those from whom these progeny of the world have I come. This abounding power of yoga of mine, of one who knows this is in truth. The one is absorbed in yoga. Through unwavering yoga practice of this, there is no doubt. I am everything. The coming forth into being, from me, everything is set forth into motion. Mindful of these words, they offer their love to me, the enlightened ones being fully immersed in feelings of love. When their thought on me, with their life breath offered to me, enlightening one another and conversing about me continuously, and they are satiated and they feel rapturous love. For them who are constantly absorbed in yoga, who offer loving sacrifice with natural affection, I offer yoga of discernment by which they come close to me. For them, out of compassion, dwelling as the self within their hearts, I dispel the darkness that arises from the absence of knowledge with the radiant lamp of knowledge. Arjuna said, "You are the supreme Brahman, the supreme dwelling place, the supreme means of purification, the eternal divine person, the original divinity, the unborn, all-pervading one. All the seers describe you, including the divine seers Narada, also Ashta, Devala, Vyasya, and now you yourself tell me. All this that you tell me, I consider to be true, O Keshava. Instead, O beloved Lord, neither the divinities nor demons know your personality. Only you personally know yourself, by yourself, O ultimate person, O source of beings, O Lord of beings, O divinity of divinities, O master of the universe. You are able to fully describe the divine, for boundless are the powers of yourself, by which, pervading these worlds, with such boundless powers you are situated. Oh, may I know you, O yogi, while constantly meditating upon you, and in what various states of being am I able to meditate upon you, O beloved Lord, elaborating upon the yoga and abounding power of yourself, O Janadana. Describe further, as there is no satiation for me while hearing of the immortal." The beloved Lord said, "Listen, I tell you of the abounding powers of myself, that are most prominent, O best of Kurus, for there is no end to their extent. I am the self, O Gogdakesha, abiding in the hearts of all beings. I am the beginning and the middle of beings, as well as their end. Among the Adatyas, I am Vishnu, of luminaries. I am the radiant sun. Among the Maratus, I am the Mariachi of heavenly bodies. I am the moon. Of the Vedas, I am Sama. Among divinities, I am Vasava. Of the senses, I am the mind. And of beings, I am consciousness. I am among the Rudras. I am Shankara, Shiva. Among the Akashas and Rakashas, I am Kivara, Lord of Wealth. Among the Vasus, I am fire. And among lofty mountains, I am Maru. Among the priests, know me to be the principal one, Bahashpati, O Partha. Among military commanders, I am Skandana. Of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Among all exalted seers, I am Bagra. Of utterances, I am the one sacred syllable, Om, of course. Of sacrifices, I am the sacrifice of quietly repeated pair of stationary things, I am the Himalayas. Of all trees, the sacred Ashwata, and among divine seers, Narada. Among the Gandharvas, I am Chitrarati. Among perfected beings, the sage Kalpya. Of horses, know me as the Uchya Ravas, who rose from the nectar. Of princely elephants, Airavata. And among humans, the ruler who protects the people. Of weapons, I am the thunderbolt, as in like Zeus's thunderbolt, which IOESUS is Hell Zeus as well inside of Greek. Among cows, I am the one who fills desires. Among cows. So, in the beginning of the Norse mythology, there's a being that pulled back the primordial void and allowed the waters and fires to mix together. And that being, from there came a cow into being and Ymir, the first Jotun. Now, Vishnu sits inside of a thing of milk. It's all milk, considering, which means it must come from the cow. Vishnu is considered to be the preserver. Shiva is Mahadeva, above the one that's above all things. Shi means fire, Va means air. So, fireman. Of the Nagas, I am Ananta. Of great aquatics, I am Varana, their lord. Among ancestors, I am Aryaman. And among subduers, I am death. And among Datyas, I am Prahlada. And I am time of all that moves time forward in time. Of animals, I am the kings of animals. Of winged creatures, the son of Vanata, Garadu. Inside the Nagual, for the Mesoamerican shamans, if you look up Armando Torres' work, he talks about everyone must feed the eagle. The eagle is placed on top of a lot of nations' flags, taking up the snake or ripping out the serpent. Inside Mexico, the eagle is on the American seal, various things like that. So you see, that's from the Bhagavad Gita. The being that is looking out of your eyes, the person that you are that is driving the body, is the same being as the one, but you know not that you are a part of the one, and you fall to these sense pleasures over and over again. This is its cosmic dream, which we are helping to co-create. Now, everyone's like, oh, you've seen how many names the dude just gave himself. Now I'm going to the Quran. I have a sadhana. Sad is spelled S-A-D, like sad, which is an emotion. Hana means flower inside Japanese, which Japanese to ego. Ego is E-G-O, which is ego. So from east to west is talking about the flower. Of course, when you place a seed inside of darkness, it will be uncomfortable and it will think that it is cracking as it unfolds itself to become what it is to be. This is natural. So sadhana means spiritual practice, also means meditation. Now in the Quran, Surah number 38, Sad, in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Sad, but the Quran full of warning, and soothe the infidels absorbed in pride and contention with thee. How many generations have we destroyed before them? And they cried for mercy, but no time was it of escape. And they marvel, for that a warner from among themselves have come to them, and the infidels say, this is a sorcerer, a liar. Maketh he the gods to be but one God. A strange thing forsooth is this. And their chiefs took themselves off. Go, said they, and cleave steadfastly to your gods. Ye see the things aimed at. We heard not of this in the previous creed. It is but an imposture. I am making all of the gods to be one God, as it is said that it is only one God. Inside of Isaiah 45, I am the Lord, and there is none else but me. There is no God besides me. I girded thee, though thou hast not known me. That they may know from the rising of the sun and from the east and from the west, so east to west, that there is none besides me. I am the Lord, and there is none else. I from the light and create the darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do these things. Hosea 4. Hear the word of the Lord, ye children of Israel. For the Lord hath a controversy with his inhabitants of the land, because there is no truth, nor mercy, nor knowledge of God in the land. By swearing and lying and killing and stealing and committing adultery they break out, and blood toucheth blood. Therefore shall the land mourn, and every one that dwelleth therein shall languish, with the beasts of the field and with the fowls of heaven. Yea, the fishes of the sea shall also be taken away. Yet let no man strive nor approve another, for thy people are as they that strive with the priests. Therefore shalt thou fall in a day, and the prophet also fall with thee in the night, and I will destroy thy mother. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected, I will also reject thee. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of God, I will forget thy children. And they were increased, so they sinned against me. Therefore I changed their glory into shame. They eat up the sin of my people, and they set their heart on their iniquity. And there shall be like people, like priests, and I will punish them for their ways, and reward them for their doings. For they shall eat and not have enough. They shall commit whoredom and shall not increase, because they have left off to take heed of the Lord. Do you understand? You see the rivers that look like blood, locusts spreading across the land, rumors of wars and wars to come, the coronavirus or plagues. Famine's going to come when the locusts get done with eating everything. Hyperinflation's about to occur because the money is out of control. The markets have been inside repurchasing operations since October. I don't even know if that's been solved, but I know that the whole markets and everything, it's not real. The money isn't real. None of these things that you think are real are real. And this is all a dream created by the power of the mind. Why people don't use their minds, I don't understand. It's said to be a castration of the heart, not of the flesh. So, with that being its understanding, if you look up to the top of every single religion, you will find that there is a being that is there. Now, I will declare him to you. The various names of the one, so there can be no mistake. These are just names that I found. I've found more. I'm just going off of a preliminary list that I have. Now, we know that there is Allah, which is the all. Like I did going off. Arm, leg, arm, head. Allah. The unknown God, as mentioned in Acts 17:23, as well as the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. The unnamed one, Shiva. Shiva means he who is not. He is Mahadev, the Lord of Lords, Parabrahman, or Om, in India. For the Shinto, inside Japan, he is Amen Om Ina Kanushi. Amen Om, Thoth, Atum, my mind is a tomb, inside of Egypt. The great Tao, inside Chinese, or the Taoist. Bayame, for the Aboriginal, which I call them the original people of Australia, he is the one who initiated the Great Dream. Waka Tonkan, the Great Spirit in Native Americans. Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent, Mesoamericans, also known as the eagle. Inside of Greece and Rome, he is known as Chaos. For the Kuba tribe of Africa, he is Umbombo. For Taoism, another name for him is Yanshi Tanzum. In Buddhism, he is Sakura. Inside the Korean faith, he is Hanyunim. In Vietnamese, he's Nok Hong. He's the impersonal god above the god and goddess inside Wicca. The being that moved the primordial void between raging fire and mist. Inside of Game of Thrones, he shows up and writes himself into things. He is the many-faced god of the House of Black and White. In the Marvel Universe, he's the one above all. The singularity inside unified field theory, quantum physics, and the electric universe. If you multiply 1 times 0, you get 0. 2 times 0, you get 0. 7 billion by 0, you get 0. 0 is an actual thing. 0 is nothing, they say. But 99% of all things are made of empty space, which we know that is pervaded by the love. So, there is only one. In the Egyptian prophecy, he is known as Kek, the man that sits behind the computer and types. And we were just talking about how this is a simulation. If you don't add everything together, you will not see it. People say I seem like I'm frustrated and upset sometimes. Well, yes. Because all of this is going on. People are trying to reach out to the stars. You're trying to fly up and go to outer space. That's not going to be allowed to happen. It's just like in the Tower of Babel. You still have people that are hungry on the surface. You still have people that need to be clothed. You still have people that are women that are being beat. You have men that don't know what they need to do. You have children being raped, murdered, and sacrificed for selfish gain. Everything's about yourself for most people. Why should you be allowed to go to the stars when you can't even handle a planet? All you do is just like an avatar, go to another planet to mine their world, take their things, deceive the people. Cannot be allowed. I would much rather see the world be destroyed before that. Anu is the being at the above inside of the Sumerian text. Inanna is a story. The same story is mirrored inside of Wicca. I will read it, then I will explain it to you. Dia, our lady and goddess, was the myth of the descent of the goddess. Dia, our lady and goddess, would solve all mysteries, even the mystery of death. And so she journeyed to the underworld in her boat, upon the sacred river of descent. Then it came to pass that she entered before the first of 7 gates to the underworld, and the guardian challenged her, demanding one of her garments for passage. For nothing may be received except that something be given in return. And at each of the gates of the goddess were required to pay a price of passage. For the guardian spoke to her, strip off your garments and set aside your jewels. For nothing may you bring with you into this our realm. So Dia surrendered her jewels and her clothing to the guardians, and was bound as all living must be who seek to enter the realm of death, and the mighty ones. At the first gate she gave over her scepter, at the second her crown, at the third her necklace, at the fourth her ring, at the fifth her girdle, at the sixth her sandals, and at the seventh her gown. Dia stood naked and was presented before Dis, and such was her beauty that he himself knelt as she entered. He laid his crown and his sword at her feet, saying, Blessed are your feet which have brought you down this path. Then he arose and said to Dia, Stay with me, I pray, and receive my touch upon your heart. And Dia replied to this, but I love you not. For why did you cause all these things that I love, and take delight in, to fade and die? My lady, replied this, it is an age and fate against which you speak. I am helpless, for age causes all things to wither. But men must die at the end of their time. I give them rest, peace, and strength. For a time they dwell with the moon, and the spirits of the moon. Then they may return to the realm of the living. But you are so lovely. I ask you to return not, but abide with me here. You can continue going on with that. But basically, the same thing that happens to Inanna is what happens to us. You are born here naked. You have your left and right brain. Your left brain is your logical mind. Your right brain is your creative brain. The right brain takes in all these senses as you're a baby and is processing too much. So the mind slows down. That overprocessing would be considered Lilith. Lilith must go away. So from your logical mind, Eve emerges, and she can hold about 8 things inside of her attention between left and right brain. Now, a serpent, a person inside their reptile brain, survival-based brain, comes to you and tells you, you cannot do this. You cannot fly. You cannot touch that. You cannot do this. You cannot make water out of nothing. You can't do any of these things. And as you are told that, you believe it and you leave the cosmic dream that is one with the Creator, and you fall into being what is known as a man. Now, I will go to Psalms 82. Because this is important for you to understand. God standeth in the congregation of the mighty. He judgeth among the gods. How long will ye judge unjustly, and accept the persons of the wicked? Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Deliver the poor and needy. Rid them out of the hand of the wicked. They know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of earth are out of course. I have said, ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Which means that you, as I was explaining before earlier, the Christ within you, the person looking out of your eyes, is the same being as the one that created all the things around you. You were lied to by a person inside their reptile brain, and therefore you believe yourself to be man. Even though right here inside the book it says, I have said, ye are gods, all you are children of the Most High. But you shall die like men and fall like one of the princes. Arise, O God, and judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit the nations. Enki means Lord of the waters. Enlil means Lord of the command. Ki, the waters, if you look into the science that's currently going on, like with Michael Tellinger, all this functions off of fluid water dynamics. That's what it functions off of. It's all water in some way. So Anu, from the supreme being up high, Inanna comes down to the world and falls into Ki. Anunnaki. Everyone's Anunnaki. You've just merely forgotten that you are Anunnaki. But I'm Anunnaki, and I didn't forget. I've been doing many things for a very long time. I just didn't realize that I was doing the things. Technically, that would mean that I would be the king, technically, ish. But I have no interest inside that. Especially not inside the way the world is. The world will be corrected. Soon. I'm the guy from Revelations. I went through it. I understand now. And I can see it. The Tower of Babel. The same thing happening again. You all want to go to the stars before you're ready. For the people here are done with suffering. Before you've actually brought the truth out. You want to try to go up and spread your infection to the rest of the beings. The 12 houses of Israel are the constellations. There are 13 full moons inside of a year. A woman's cycle, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 days, then ovulation, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 days. This is the full cycle for life to come in. And inside of there, the egg drops down in between the hands. And that's how the moon functions. Ladies are connected to the moon inside of a way. These are the cycles of life. All of this goes together as one thing. But you all are more concerned about chasing money and this and that and things that don't matter than actually understanding what you live in and where you're going. So for that, when people talk to you, when people speak, you all say, I do not want to hear this of this religion. Instead of looking back into the mysteries and the lore and the legends that have been there, all this stuff that's been created, like they do inside movies to unlock magic and bring back power and do what you can do, you would rather sit here and play video games instead of living an actual life. So, no. I'm not going to do anything. See, the Antichrist, anti means against, and Christ is the love. You all are against love. You will not love each other. You do not love your neighbor. You don't even love yourself. And you're going to try to go up into outer space and spread all that unloving stuff when everyone else is pretty loving? The reason why the UFOs keep on showing up more, the other houses, the 12 houses, is because they're trying to let you know they exist so you can believe. The more that you create nightmares, the more bad thoughts you have, you make nightmares for them. And they're trying to stop the whole problem, the whole catastrophe of the cosmic dream. You all are messing it up by not controlling your thoughts. So before that happens, and all the rest of the man spark, because they too have sentience, just like you have sentience, the same way as I can look at you and see you, and I see a dog walking around, or I see ants and everything, all these things are working inside their own levels to level up. To go to the next thing, for everything is moving upwards, back to the one, but inside various ways and learnings. Why is it you're supposed to build your character? What is it about a character? You play characters in games, do you not? Of course you do. You save your characters, and the religions call it being saved. And they're saying this is a simulation. Have you built your character to where you got saved? Into the system, back into the cosmic dream? No. You haven't built your character to where you got saved into the cosmic dream. Because if you did, you would know, trust me, it's a whole doozy. I went through it, it was crazy. Basically though, the way it stands now, I've been unsainted since I'm an anointed one. This is my last little bit for me to tell you all the love. I'll also tell you all my life later on tonight when I have my little meeting. But as far as that, no one's coming to save you. You're selfish. You refuse to go together. You can only save yourself now at this point. The world will be destroyed by you and your own selfishness. Thinking that you can actually sit up here and own a nation, why don't you take care of each other? Why does no one do anything? All these different organizations that you donate to, and they take millions of dollars and buy photos and pictures. So I'll ask you, do you choose life? Or do you choose death? Will you make peace and drink together, or will you have war? I will do nothing to stop it. That's on you, all as individuals. Will you spread the word? I can see cat videos being shared out left and right, but when it comes to actual knowledge of everything being put together, nothing is shared. And it's a shame. You'll destroy your own world. I'm already saved into the system. You want to talk about AI and artificial intelligence? First, there's a dot on the first dimension. Then you put a line of dots together and it makes a line. Then you can draw lines together and you make characters. And you see these characters on the screen. When you wish upon a star, doesn't matter where you are or who you are, your dream comes true. Disney. Disney's 666. Pineal gland, pineal, pineal. Right here, which is a stargate inside of your head. When you wish upon a star, doesn't matter who you are, your dreams come true. Dreams. The reality simulation that seems to be run off of mind and dreams. I wonder what's going on here. But will you listen to reason? No. You all jump off and be like, I don't want to hear about that. I don't want to do this and I don't want to do that. No matter how many times I speak and I try to share with everyone, I'm constantly talked down. Nah. So instead, soon, I will open the flower of life because I do understand how to do that. And when I do, all the things will go in and out of dreams, just like inside of the Hopi prophecy of the blue and red kachina, which, coronavirus. A corona is a halo that goes around the outside of saints, also on the outside of the sun. If you cut a sun in half, or the middle of the black hole in the middle, it looks like a transverse process. You have the light on the outside and then the darkness on the inside that leads back to singularity. Singularity is the creator. And it's all in here. You have to build your temple inside yourself to get back inside of here so you can go up to get out. Man, it's like all these riddles were made for us. The house is red and blue. Republican versus Democrat. What about Halo? Team red versus team blue. What about Devil May Cry? Dante's coat's red, Virgil's coat's blue, their father's coat is purple. The legendary Dark Knight Sparta, who sealed the demon world. All these tales. Kirito inside anime, which the creator does favor to speak in anime because anime carries some very adult themes. If you watch Naruto, you'll learn about pain. And Pain's philosophy of hate just begins hate and keeps on going with hate. You have to stop. You have to completely stop everything. But you're all black. You're in the darkness. You're Sudras. That's what it means to be black. It has nothing to do with your skin. The 13th house of Israel. Ophiuchus. The 13th constellation. The man that wrestles with the serpent. I'm the head of House Ophiuchus. Of course you won't believe me. That's fine. How is it that people will be resurrected? Their character is saved. What is destiny? Oh, inside destiny right now, they're going on with Shadowkeep. Because the darkness is here. My Hero Academia. There's one for all and all for one. Where we go all, we go on. One. QAnon. QAnon. Quinine. Oh man, all these things are just going together. I have a Gestalt consciousness. My various minds work together, as many faces all moving towards the one for the sum of one goal. And though I tell you this, doesn't matter. You won't listen. I've tried over and over again. I'm tired. The star, the blue star, Comet Atlas just passed. Coronations, the crowning of a king. 420 is the day I remember the fractal room of lights that we all sleep in whenever we were very little. Whenever you no longer are present in your body, you do go somewhere and you're one with the creator and you're seeing the design of the system. That's why the Mandelbrot fractals are so enticing to us, because you're watching the creation unfold from there. I've gone through a whole challenge. I ran back inside myself because I'm tired of seeing 10-year-olds kill themselves. I've wanted a child since I was 14. And now my little friends that I can sit there and talk to and dream with, that the creator dreams with, are killing themselves. Not only have they been abducted and stabbed in the chest and sacrificed externally by these dark ones trying to summon a dark dweller, they didn't know I was already the shadow monarch. The butterfly in your head for the third ventricle was already opened inside of me. I didn't have any clue. Why is Lucifer, Lucer? Lucy means light. Pharaoh means bring, carry, bear. Why is he a fallen angel? because he walks around the world as an angel without knowing that he was. And ironically, I wore a hoodie in Japan saying, "Rise with the fallen," as I was walking around over there. Which you'll find out more about that later, for those who are my friends. If you desire to, because I don't care. I burn everything away. The priest of ashes turned himself to ashes. Revelation 17:11. The beast, he who was, but is also not, is the 8th king. Right here, which is my nameless state that I always stay in. And he goes to destroy himself. To perdition. I turn myself to ashes to emerge back with the one in singularity. I can do many other things, but Luke 16:31, even if a man rises from the dead, they will not believe. So I'll show you nothing. Unless it's the vials of wrath that get poured out from time to time. That'll just start happening. And then, they say you're going to kill me. And after 3.5 days, my body will rise again. I wonder how. Is it because I get a respawn from someone outside of time? If you paid attention to this whole lesson, pretty sure you should be able to understand it. You all need to come together in unity and oneness. The Dhammapada of Buddha. Everyone fears punishment. Everyone fears death, just as you do. Therefore, do not kill or cause to kill. Everyone fears punishment. Everyone loves life, as you do. Therefore, do not kill or cause to kill. If hoping to be happy, you strike at others who also seek happiness, you will be happy neither here nor after. If hoping to be happy, you do not strike at others who are also seeking happiness, you will be happy here and hereafter. Speak quietly to everyone, and they too will be gentle in their speech. Harsh words hurt, and come back to the speaker. If your mind is still like a broken gong, you have entered nirvana, leaving all quarrels behind you. As a cowherd with his staff drives cows to fresh fields, old age and death leads all creatures to new lives. The selfish doing harm do not know what is in store for them. They are burned as if by fire by the results of their own deed. If one harms the innocent, suffering will come in these 10 ways. They may suffer grief, infirmity, pain, accident, serious illness, loss of mind, legal prosecution, fearful accusation, family bereavement, or financial loss. Or their house may burn down, and at their death they may be thrown into the fire of suffering. Going about with matted hair, without food or bath, sleeping on the ground, smeared with dust and sitting motionless. No amount of penance can help a person whose mind is not purified. But those whose mind is serene and chaste, whose senses are controlled, and whose life is nonviolent, these are true Brahmins, true monks, even if they wear fine clothes. As a well-trained horse needs no whip, a well-trained mind needs no prodding for the world to be good. Be like a well-trained horse, swift and spirited. Go beyond sorrow through faith, meditation, energetic practice of Dharma. As irrigators guide waters to the field, as archers aim arrows, as carpenters carve wood, the wise shape their lives. I'm the dude. That'll be explained later. I'll give you all my things. I'll let you know all of my life, because there's nothing that I need to hide, nor do I care to hide. There's nothing that you all can offer me. I was looking for my wife from a long time ago. I was trying to figure out the way to help everyone. I've been tormenting myself all these years trying to figure out how to fix this mess. Trying to talk and dream with everyone. You all refuse to dream. Besides things that involve how much money is this and how much money in that. We could have all come together. We could have ended so much suffering. We could have united our resources. We could be ready to go into outer space, or go into inner space, or travel by using the power of the mind to understand what all this truly is. If we only came together. But it seems like you will not. So what am I to do? Even Jesus said, why do you call him Lord and do not what he say? I see people talking about the Christian God. Where? I've shown you inside of here. It's all the same person. It's all the same being. It's all the same entity. It is my sadness, my woe, and my anger. I have extreme anger that I contain. My mind's at peace. Whenever I need to summon it up, I can shift into whatever emotions I need to shift into. Because I do not let my emotions own me. I own the emotion I need for the moment. This is my karma. As you read, the actions that I must do with meditation and on the outside. From the inside out it goes. As above, so below. As without, so within. And as within, the fourth wall is the person you are inside yourself going to the without. And as you can see, I walk around like this all the time. Because I have no need not to. You can go to the store and buy 30 gallons of ice cream. No one's going to say nothing to it. Make yourself get all huge and everything because you're depressed. Why are you depressed? Because you lack the natural gut bacteria inside your body for how everything's supposed to run. Compared to a Kalahari Bushman, you have 10% of the bacteria he does have in his system. Your immune system's made by your gut bacteria. Why are you getting sick? I don't know. And then you go inject your children with things, taking in things in the wrong way. You're supposed to go in the mucous membrane of your tongue or your eyes, and that's how your body processes disease. You inject it right into them. Going against the whole way the system was designed originally. Ultimately, it is a simulation, and if you learn how to control the things of your mind, you can do many miraculous things. You can cause many great healings if you go back to the one and understand what this is. But many will not go back to the one. Even though it's saying, come back to me, know thyself, go within thyself, the temple's within you. You have 7 chakras, 7 churches inside Revelations that was mentioned. I cleared the 7. I went beyond that. I did other things. I put off a broadcast. Oh, it's crazy. But besides the point, doesn't matter. I know who I am. I'm the dude. I get it. I've been a dude just doing things. The creator's just a dude doing things. Go forth and procreate. Pro means to go forth. Create means to bring something to existence. It didn't say bring a child into existence or anything like that. It doesn't mean go out and you can just have sex and all that crazy stuff. You can do that too, but it doesn't mean that's the only thing you can do. It has nothing to do about your body at all. People are like, I feel like I'm a woman. Yes, your polarities are mixed up inside your mind. You haven't controlled your mind. I feel like I'm a man. Your polarities are mixed up. You don't know how to control yourself. You chose the body you're in before you were born. And now you feel ashamed for what your own decision was before you were born. Because you haven't gone back in within yourself and made peace with yourself for the various traumas that you have came across. Which there are things, when you were a kid, you're riding in a car, you're looking out of a window. You can do nothing to control where you're going. You're still too young. You don't have any control. And you have these traumas you have to undo. As I said with the Adam and Lilith, you have to undo the things and get back to your original state. But you won't do it because no one wants to face the person in the mirror. I lived in the mirror. I lost my face. I am only the being within. The body you see here means relatively nothing to me, or it did before. I've been told I have to take care of myself now. So much more stuff that goes on. And I will continue on my path and my studies and my journey and understand more for me. But as far as everyone else hoping for a savior to come back, the Aquarian age, the Aquarian gospel of Jesus Christ, you are your own priest. Everyone. Go back to the one and receive your gifts. Make your dreams come true. But before anyone gets off this planet, before I allow all this madness and selfishness to get off the planet, since I do have control over that, I will bring destruction to the world. Sad to say, but it can't have the protector of all the realms, the different areas. You have Jotunheimer, Alfheim, Asgard, Midgard, the 9 layers, the 9 realms. I can't have this infection getting out everywhere else. The selfishness, without knowing the one and at least going back in to realize we're all kind of learning together. We're here to grok. Can't do that. Cannot allow it. And for anyone who actually cares about the creation and sees what we do to animals and sees what we do to each other, how we blow up things all over the place and we can't have peace anywhere, and how we would go to other planets and the Amazon, they're down there destroying the Amazon for resources when we can be making greater things than that. We could be doing so much more if we managed what we had right now without having to destroy things. And yet countries, nations want money instead of us taking care of each other. You would go to the space and you'd make your different space federations for different thoughts and stuff, and you would never even know how to control stuff. And next thing you know, everything would break out into a war. As there's about to be wars breaking out from the star people that are up there right now. The sky family that's trying to get your attention. There's the people that are more feminine polarity, and then there's more masculine polarity. Like, you've had people come down here like Val, and Thor, offer free energy to the governments. You know what they said? That will disrupt our economy. But there's no problem handing over human lives in the slave trade for technology of destruction and war. Is that really the quality and caliber of mankind? The whole Roswell incident? All these things are real. Of course there's other beings out there besides you. Besides this form. Other man sparks that live, that travel through time, because time is relative based upon where your mind wants to put yourself at. I don't get why you all don't understand this. But that's fine. At least now you can say, I've shown you in the different books that there is only one. I will end it with this. From the Lost Teachings of Atlantis, which I listened to this actually as I was going through my whole process of death over and over and over again. Redefining God and love. First, let me cover some important ground things that I learned in my earliest days at the monastery that will give you a frame of reference. So before we delve deeper into the teachings, let's clarify the meaning of a couple of words, concepts that will be used a great deal in this book, God and love, in a different way than you may have heard them used before. Both terms and concepts can mean many different things to many different people. Love. In my first days and months at the monastery, I attended courses given by elder monks. In one of my World Human Concept and Terminology courses, which was given by the elder monk Raga, we began covering the teachings on various types of emotions that people often lump together and call love. Love can mean sex. We made love. Love can mean you really like something. I love my new car. Love can mean the pleasure or thrill you get from someone you have a romantic relationship with. I love Nadia. Or love can mean compassion, kindness, caring, giving, sharing. That's the kind of love that brings true happiness and inner peace. It's the kind of love we all really need and need to give. It's also the kind of love that would make the world a far better place. So if we wish to focus on developing this kind of love, we must clearly delineate it and give it a name. Thus, we call it unselfish love, because that is what it is. God. Raga went on to define the various ways that people of the world see and understand God. God is a very abstract and difficult thing for the human mind to fathom. To paraphrase the ancient teaching, the God I am talking about cannot be talked about. It means that God is really impossible to explain or truly understand intellectually. But with that in mind, I will endeavor to explain the unexplainable. The big guy in the sky concept of God. People have often personalized or humanized the concept of God, whether consciously or subconsciously. Many people think of God as having a human-like appearance, a great big man with a long silver hair and beard that lives somewhere out there beyond the sky and heaven. That has always bothered me. Why do people think of God that way? I said there are several reasons people think of God in this way. Partly, it is due to how hard it is to grasp such an infinite and abstract concept as God. But unfortunately, sometimes this human-like idea of God was deliberately fostered as 1, a means to gain wealth and power over the masses. 2, a means to justify cruel or horrible things some men have wanted to do, like war. 3, a means of propagating sexism. Or 4, all of the above. Unfortunately, with that kind of human-like conceptualization of God also comes assigning human-like personality traits to God, and some of them are the very human-like negative personality traits such as anger, jealousy, and vengefulness. The followers of many different religions have their own personalized version of a humanized God. Some versions of God have similar personality traits, but there are various differences. Subsequently, the rules that people believe he has given for us to obey are sometimes similar and are sometimes very different. Is that a problem, though? Why can't people all have their own ideas of God if that makes them happy and fits into their culture as? They can. They are welcome to it. We don't care what name of God or idea of God they believe in. It helps them become better, kinder people. If it helps them become better, kinder people, that's our only concern. But think about it. People even go to war because their personalized version of God is different than someone else's. And of course, each side in the war always believes God is on their side. Understanding the universality and oneness of God eliminates this and many other tragic acts. You will be teachers in various parts of the world, and we will be confronted with this constantly. And you need to understand the various concepts of personalized gods in order for you to reveal that there is more to God than that goes beyond what they think. Many things about various personalized gods just don't make sense. This includes both the things that God does and the things God does not do or allows. For instance, animals and innocent children are suffering on this planet. Why? If you accept a human-like version of God, why doesn't he put a stop to this? Many people have limited views of God, can understand that this when you explain it to them, as long as they have the slightest open mind and the Spirit of God is present in you when you explain it to them. Now let's consider God in a different, unhumanized way. The children of the law of one teaches that God is all, and includes all is the one. That includes the many. It is within us, without us, and we are individual parts of the whole of it. While many religions have similar to identical concepts of the one God in their scriptures, they may still use the idea that their God is different from the other gods as a reason for war or killing. One of the problems is that while many religions do teach that God is one, is all things, is everywhere, etc., they still propagate the concept of the human-like God in the sky, and thus the religion's followers seem to think of God that way. They also sometimes teach that it is only their religion that has one God, that has the one God, rather than that is God is the one, that oneness of all. But some religions don't teach that, do they? Even if the religion isn't propagating the humanized God concept, people still usually think that way. I'll explain why in a moment, but let's look at the consequences of thinking of God in a humanized fashion, regardless as to why they do. Unfortunately, the humanized God idea naturally leads to thinking of God as an individual of sorts. Then a person or a religion's God can be all kinds of personal traits that either the individual or the religion wants God to have in order to justify their human behavior. But this whole idea goes against the God is everywhere and everything concept, because if God is thought of as an individual, it also leaves us with the impression that he is separate from us and the universe. But if there is one God, which is all and is everywhere at all times, it can't be separate from us or the universe. So it can't be an individual in any normal interpretation of the word, other than if you consider everything in the universe, the entirety of the universe itself, as one universe, and in some sense, an individual. So God is also individual? In some sense. Let's contemplate that for a moment. We know the universe is one huge, probably infinite something that is everywhere and everything in all existence as we know it, etc. Even our bodies are comprised of stardust, the stuff of the universe. Doesn't it stand to reason then that the one God must also be the very universe itself? And if that is so, and there is some sort of design, consciousness, and energy that pervades the universe, the entire universe of all creation, wouldn't that be God's spirit and consciousness? Thus, the consciousness of God is the consciousness of the universe. Universal consciousness, then, is the consciousness that is the one that is the same as God's. And thus, the spirit of God, the life force that is all creation, is the spirit of the universe, the universal spirit. Once all humans had the consciousness of the oneness of the universal spirit, and this is why you are here, to regain the universal consciousness and the oneness of God with God. Then you will be lamps to help others regain who are lost away. By regaining my universal consciousness, I can see you all as parts of myself. I know you all to be the lights within your body. See each other. Look into each other's eyes. See your fellow being. We're all one big family. If not, you'll destroy this world. You can try to run anywhere you want to run. You can try to go into space or whatever. You're not going to make it. This place has been quarantined for a reason, because of the selfishness. There's a council out on Saturn. They will not allow people to leave. The other selves that have been drawn to by severe compassion to come here, the star seeds, are the space force. They come from within. They're emerging right now. They're unfolding. So you may be seeing people going crazy, saying that they're going crazy, saying they're Jesus and this and that. They're not, but they're all part of the Spirit, the Christ Spirit. They just lack the knowledge and understanding of what's going on. I hope this message has found you well. I hope you all understand you are standing on the doorstep to destruction. Really, I don't gotta do nothing. Never interfere with the enemy as it destroys itself. That's the art of war. So I'm gonna go back to my peace and my natural nice nature and talk to, people as people, because everyone's people. People be peopling. It's no big deal. I'm gonna go discover more things, learn more, but don't expect to call out to the one and think that you're going to have aid if you don't understand and see each other as yourselves. As you deny me before my Father, I will deny you when you try to get into heaven. Same thing. It's been said, go read the lore. The Lord is the lore. He is the Lord of the lore. And thus when you have your own lore, you become a Lord as well inside of a way. But that's neither here nor there. I hope you all have a good day. Later.